What is up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. 'Tis I, the King of Indie, Splattercat. Happy to have you here today as we take a look at another indie game that's been bouncing around my brain over the course of the last week in the newest hot-off-the-press episode of Weekly Indie Newcomer. This week we're taking a look at Wayward, which is a top-down survival roguelike about a guy who's been stranded on a desert island after some kind of boat accident. You're searching for pirate treasure, you're going down into dungeons and fighting with monsters, and at the same time trying to sate your needs. Everything from drinking to eating. This is more along the, and I guess this is more along the lines of something like Caves of Cut. I've been on a roguelike bent lately, and so you're just going to have to bear with me the next couple weeks. There's going to be lots of roguelikes going up on the channel for Weekly Indie Newcomer. Like, I have so many of them that I'm having so much fun with, and this one's a newer one. So anyways, if you've never heard of Wayward, this is a chance for it to get up on screen and just pick your brain a little bit and see if it's something that you will be interested in. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and play some Wayward. I like this game. This game is quite awesome. It's actually really, really well polished for an early access game. That's right, it is an early access, just so you know, but it's like the good kind of early access where there's lots of stuff to do, lots of things to discover, and it's going to take you a while to get done with the content in this one. We are not going to do the starter quest. We're going to tell that one to go away. So welcome to Wayward. This is it right here. This is the game that we are here to play. If you wanted to, why is it doing this to me right now? Why are you just being this way? There we go. I wanted to get my wasp back. It was stuck inside my text box. All right, cool. So every time you start Wayward, you're going to start with a collection of items. A bedroll. We've got some stripped bark. Tree bark there. We've got string. We've got a large rock. We've got a remarkable large rock, which is just apparently far better at rocking than the other stuff that we have. We have an animal skull. Cool. We've got some berries. We've got some remarkable thistle seeds. We've got a water skin of fresh purified water. A stone knife. That's actually pretty good for starting out with. Is it good? It's got 19 out of 19 durability, so yeah, it's not a bad knife. And a clay jug with a cork used for storing fluids. Okay, so we've got water options right now. Things are looking pretty good. I'm going to do my best to kind of coach you through the game because it's not a hard game to learn. It's actually pretty simple to pick up, which is what I like about it, but still a game with a considerable amount of depth. If you like things like Unreal World, or if you like things like Cataclysm DDA, think it's like that, but in a different setting, and it's not as deep quite yet. I need to equip this in my hand, and so I'm going to click this, and then I'm going to go equip to held. Alright, and then we'll drag and drop this into our hot slot. When you put it in a hot slot, every item has a thing that it does. So this one right here has carve and gather. If you're facing anything that it can carve and or gather, and you press the 1 key, watch this. No, you're walking too far right now. There we go. It will actually chop it on up. And so there is a remarkable pineapple. Huzzah. We have a remarkable pineapple. We also need to gather some stone. This is sandstone over here. You can identify stuff by right-clicking it. So that right there is twigs floating in shallow seawater. If we right-click over here, it's sandstone. We can zoom in. If you prefer to play like this, we can zoom way the hell out. If you prefer to play like that, I prefer it right about here. I've seen other people be in about this close, but I like to have a little bit of a view around. So let's clear out some of this map space and see if there's anything around here that's going to be useful. What is this? Shallow fresh water. Okay, so we're going to go over there. We're going to click on our jug and we're going to say gather water. And so now we have a fresh clay jug of unpurified water. Good stuff, though. It's better than salt. What is this right here? That is a cactus plant, which is fertile. Let's go harvest it. And so we got ourselves nopal, which is a despined cactus fruit filled with refreshing liquid and nutrition. That'll be useful for later. And then also we got some cactus spines, which we can turn into sewing needles in a little bit. Right now, oh, there's a spider. Let's not mess with that at the moment. This game is one of those games that really, really, really likes to kill you. Don't mess with stuff. Just leave it alone until you know you're hard enough to fight with all of it. Don't do it right now. I'm going to press the Q key on this. We're going to pick that up. I have a tool. I have the knife equipped. Well, it gave us a large rock, and it gave us some stones. If you gather without having something equipped, what is that right there? You see seawater, but it's bubbly. What's that bubbly stuff? Ooh, seaweed. Yes, please, give me that seaweed. So we've picked up some seaweed. It's edible, it gives you hunger, but it costs you thirst. So keep that in mind. We've got a fertile cacti right here. If it's not fertile, if you're wondering what that means, it means just if you harvest it, you have a chance to not get the good shit out of it. So non-fertile plants will provide you with some basic materials, but they won't give you that good-ish. And so anyways, if you picked this thing when it was non-fertile, you would probably just get cactus spines and you wouldn't get the nopal or whatever. What is this? Oh, good. That's actually pretty fantastic. We got ourselves a branch, some twigs, and some plant roots. We need to find some more rocks, though. That right there is sandstone with iron. That's going to be very, very important for later once we start crafting ourselves some gear and doing some of that type of stuff. Oh, yes, that's right. There's a crafting menu. You press the C key, it'll bring it right open. And I like to move this. Everything in the UI, you can move around, and I like that a lot. You can actually open up all the windows. You can get the full view that you need. The sorting system, I'm going to sort these by group, which is essentially what it does. I think we can use that as a binding as well for cordage. Let's have a little walk around here and see if there's anything around. That right there is a sharp rock. I will definitely take that. It auto-gathers useful items when you walk past them. That is stones. We're going to take that as well. This over here is rocks. Good. This right here is rocks with limestone, which you can powder. That's a dungeon entrance right there. We don't want to go in there right now. That would be a death sentence. We really, really do. You don't want to go down into there until you can pretty reasonably lick everything on the surface. And so until you're just like gravy training your way on through everything on the surface, like you can one-shot spiders, you can one-shot skeletons and stuff like that, I wouldn't go down in there. Let's go ahead and pick that on up. And now we got a couple of stones. And so what we can do is we can do some basic crafting. I'm going to take these stones and I'm going to make a sharp rock out of them. You'll see up above when I pick the recipe down below, it'll highlight the 2 rocks that are going to be used. Our crafting... good. Our stone crafting is raised to 1%. Good stuff right there. You can actually see what your skills are through... There's a menu here somewhere. Equipment and skills. There it is. Got our little skills menu right here, and you can see all the things that we've learned. So we've got okay chemistry, botany is terrible, stone crafting is terrible, everything from lumberjacking to swimming to mining to blacksmithing is in this game, and so you will unlock these as you go along. These are not the only ones available. We need to get some more stone, and so I'm just going to use my knife here to whittle away on this rock wall for a bit and see what we get out. So we got some stones. This is going to hurt our knife, by the way, but that's okay because we've got the materials to make a new one. So I don't really care. I just want to get a big backpack full of stuff, and that wall was actually destroyed during the process. The next thing I want is to mess with this tree over here until I get something good out of it. Now, this is probably going to be the last straw for my knives, but... if I can get some leaves out, and actually we need a whole bunch more branches. We need, we got logs and everything out of there. We stripped the tree, my bad. I don't really want the logs, but they will be useful in just a second. Our weight is getting kind of high, so you'll notice that we move a bit slower. Like right now, I'm holding down WASD and we're moving slow. That's because our weight up here in the top is a tad slower. Our knife is about to break. I'm going to keep pulling stuff off the tree here. And then we'll figure out what we want to do with the rest of this in just a minute. You feel yourself getting stronger, and so we've become stronger. Our weight allotment has gotten a little bit larger, but our knife broke. I think we got some more health right there, too. This is our talent, which is essentially your score for the entire game. You're trying to get that as high as possible. My best game I have running right now is at 12,000. It has no sign of stopping. I'm doing pretty well, and I'm pretty much comp stomping at the moment. Let's craft some stuff here. We need... wooden poles, and so I'm thinking we're going to turn some of these logs into poles, and so there it is. We've gotten better at woodworking, so poles, poles, poles. How many of these can I pull out? And I think it's turning our logs into poles right now. Or maybe we're using... let me make a new knife real fast. We might be using the log to make a pole, which is kind of strange, I think. I don't know. But either way, the things that are highlighted are the things that are being used in the crafting pattern. I'm going to make myself a chest right now for storing items so that I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. We'll take the chest and we're going to go ahead and build it right there. And then if we queue on this, we can inspect it. Or actually, we can open it like that. There we go. And we can put some of our more useful stuff in there. Basically, I was just trying to get rid of the logs. With our poles that we've crafted and a whole bunch of the sharp sticks and whatnot, I'm going to make a few more sharpened rocks here. There we go, and with our sharpened rocks, I can actually make a helmet with I can make a helmet out of the skull and out of the rock, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, right now, the game does not actually add the graphic to your character. I'm hoping that's something that gets added in the future. That's a major thing for me, but we can drag and drop it on. It gives us a baseline defense of 1, and it resists slashing damage by 1, so that's pretty cool. That's going to be very, very helpful, and you want to have those sorts of things equipped for the future. At the moment, we have tree bark, a lot of it, and so what I'd like to do with the tree bark is I'm going to make myself 2 things of kindling. We got twigs and... we need twigs and bark to do that. Okay. So there it is. We got ourselves some kindling right there. That's going to be very important for later. And then also, we probably want to go in on... we're going to need more twigs before we can do that. How good is this knife? 11 out of 18. It's not that good, but it should be suitable enough to get us some other stuff. In the meantime, let's make ourselves a stone spear as a weapon. Oh, we failed to craft it. We'll make a stone spear right there to protect ourselves from monsters out there. And then I'm going to equip this to Held as well. And so now we've got a spear. The spear is a pretty good item. You'll see that our attack power has gone up to 4 from 2. Our armor is up to 1. And so we're in pretty solid shape right now. The next thing we need to do is we need to make a fire starting implement. We can make a hand drill just using 2 sticks. And so I'm going to do that. We've now got the hand drill. And then if I equip this guy right here, I'm going to unequip the spear because it uses both things in your hand when you're working on objects. What I want is to get a couple of logs out here. And so we're going to go all in on this tree for a second. And now that we've got that, we should be able to make ourselves a fire plow, which is actually quite a bit better than what we had before. And so there it is. If we can get a couple of these in a string, what we can do is we can make a bow too. And so we can strip some of this stuff right here, like that right there that we started with the stripped bark. We can turn that into string if we so desire. And I'm going to recommend that we do so right now. Now, my hope is that in the future, they'll make it so that it doesn't rearrange your inventory. I'm sorry, not your inventory. The crafting will move around based on the stuff that you can craft at the current moment. And that can be a little bit troublesome when you're trying to craft a bunch of the same item. I'd like these to stay static and maybe just light up wherever they are on the list down here. But we need a bow. And with the bow, the reason I got the bow is so that now we can make a bow drill by combining our hand drill and our bow. And the bow drill is really, really... Oh, we are failing right now so hard. The bow drill is amazing for starting fires. I'm going to quick slot that up there. It's going to allow us to start fires very, very easily. And being able to consistently start fires is an important thing in this game. You're going to want to be able to do that. Our hunger meter right now is down by a little bit, water meter's down by a little bit, and then also our stamina is kind of bad at the moment because we've been doing a lot of effort. It will regenerate over time, but the quickest way to do this is not that. The quickest way to do this is to click on your bedroll and just say rest for a little bit, and that'll give you some of your strength back so that you can get back to work a little bit quicker. The other thing that I'd like to do right now is maybe we'll farm up a couple of logs. There we go. And I'm just going to store these away for later. You see how much when we're overweight right now? You see how much stamina we lose when we walk? It's pretty brutal, right? And then you start losing health when you run out of stamina, so be careful about that. I'm going to go ahead and rest one more time so I can walk this stuff over to the chest. And then we will transfer these into here so that we're no longer bearing that much weight. We've got a whole bunch of tree bark. The best benefit we're going to find from the tree bark is that we're going to strip this stuff right here. We're going to turn it into string. And now that we have string, we can make ourselves a bark tunic. The bark tunic is not amazing, but it does give us 2 baseline armor and 1 resist to blunt damage. It's weak against piercing and fire, though. So if you're up against, like, wizards or, I don't know, spiders with eyeball lasers or anything complicated like that, you probably don't want to rock this. But this will help us. It will keep us alive versus some of the stuff that's up here on the surface. In the meantime, I would very much like to create another branch. We will create a stripped bark out of the branch that we just created. And from the branch that we just created, we're going to need some more bark. And so I think we are, well, we've got a decent amount of bark and twigs and things like that. That'll allow us to make some tinder, which will allow us to keep a fire lit a little while longer. And then I'm going to make some more kindling too, just in case. We've got enough rocks around right now to where we can craft a couple more sharp rocks. I like to keep a lot of sharp rocks around. That's just me personally. And so, oh, they just made a bunch of smooth rocks too. And so with those right there, we will go ahead and make ourselves a couple of knives. However, the other thing that we're going to need to get, since this is about to break, is we need a couple more sticks. Am I gathering? Oh, I'm gathering with no tool. Hold on, let me equip that to hell. My other one broke. That's all that happened. Ooh, we got an exceptional branch. That one we would want to consider. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. And so after doing that, we've got a bit more stripped bark. We do not want to strip this one right here. We want to make a tool out of it. And so I'm going to make a stick out of it. That stick, unfortunately, we didn't get a wooden pole that was any good out of that exceptional bark. Little disappointing. I'm going to break these down real fast into poles. There we go. And so we've converted our branches into poles now. And I want to get an axe. And so we've now got an axe. And I wanted to get a shovel. Unfortunately, the shovel... Where's the shovel on my little list here? I need more string, which means I need to strip more branches. So let's go ahead and mess with these trees a little bit further. So there it is. Let's strip these branches. You should advance quickly and pretty easily if you know what you're doing in this game. You should move up pretty fast. I'm going to turn all of these into cordage because it's what we need right now. If we have more cordage, we'll be in better shape. And so we've got a pretty considerable amount of string right now. What I'd like to do is for a couple of string. We could make some more tree bark leggings. I think that's a good call. So there's a little bit more armor for us to rock right there. Our armor rating should be a tiny bit higher when we equip those. We should be able to regenerate a little bit of our stamina as well, since we're past, like, everything's okay right now. With 4 armor, we should be alright. I'm going to go ahead and equip the spear to Held, and let's have a little bit more of a look around right now and see what's in the neighborhood. We've got more water right there, but we don't really need water right now. Where did my pineapple go? My pineapple's up here at the top. Let's go ahead and eat that. You will see that it restored a bunch of my meters, so that's good. And then we'll also eat the nopal right now. That's going to give us some seeds that we can plant too. So if you wanted to grow things, you can actually come down here. And I don't want to plant those right there. What I want to do is I want to plant these right... You failed to plant the cacti seeds in the ground. It figures. My botany's up a little bit, though. My botany is up a little bit. We got a spider over here. Might be a problem, but we're going to fight him. Fight me, spider! Ow, he hit us for 1 damage. Oh, it's because he's piercing damage. So we are vulnerable to his strikes right now. And we just press a direction. Like, that's all we have to do. We're not very good at fighting. You'll see that we have tactics and parrying. Tactics is essentially your basic fighting skill. Parrying is how good you are at avoiding getting hit. And so as those go up, you will become a lot more survivable. It does look like he's having trouble getting us taken down. We just got stronger too, which made our cap go up a little bit, and also our health went up a little bit. The spider has been stabificated. Now what we want to do is we want to carve the spider's body using the knife. So I'm going to press the 1 key to activate carve because my knife is assigned to 1. And that's going to give us, oh good, we got spider silk too. That's remarkable spider silk. But on top of that, we got a spider body right there, and we can cook that for a dinner a little bit later. The next thing that I'd want to do is let's make a campfire in here, a permanent campfire next to the dungeon, so that we can hang out and kind of have access to things that we need. Don't use your spear to get after this tree, please. Our knife is about to break on us, but we should be able to get at least a couple more goodies out of here before it falls apart on us. And then on top of that, we now have an axe in our inventory, which I think we can equip to our main... Well, I'll put it in the 3 slot. Let me go ahead and I'm going to equip that to Held. And it's going to be really, really, really good at chopping trees. It should do quite a bit more. Yeah, we're almost at 25% lumberjacking right now. We're doing really, really great. So now that I've got that, I need more bark, actually. I just need to strip these trees realistically. And so there it is. We might be able to get some medicinal herbs out of these trees too. Sometimes you can use the leaves to make medicinal water, which restores your health. It's kind of like a health potion that you carry along with you, and it's one of those random little items that actually ends up being really, really useful later on down the line. What is this stuff? That is a growing cacti. That is a non-fertile cacti. Gotta find some more sharp stones if you're wondering what I'm doing right now. These are fertile patches of ground or something like that. Oh no, it's a plant that's growing. Wow. There is a lot of fresh water on this island. Sometimes I get really, really unlucky with my islands, and there's like no fresh water around. You got to be very, very careful about the way you expend your resources. I'm going to make a... Oh, we can make a sundial. Okay, we can tell what time it is if we make one of those, and that'll probably be a cool thing to have. There's a shark right there who really, really, really wants to go to war with us, and then there's a giant rat up here. The giant rat should be no threat, though, with our current armor. We should be able to take it out pretty easily. We are also going to carve, but this time we're going to use our axe. That's going to land us animal fat, which is useful for some things. We got raw tainted meat, leather hide, some offal, and some bones. What an awful acquisition. There's also some white mushrooms over here. And so you actually have skill in mycology and all kinds of stuff. Look at our skills list right now. Look how much it is filled up. Look how much it is filled up. We have, ooh, there's a free bone right there, just in case you want a free bone. We also picked up some shale, although I'm not sure what I'm going to use the shale for. Let's kind of just walk around the edges right now. That tends to be the way that I navigate, is I just stay on the edge of the island. And eventually, once you've walked around the edges enough time, you can start to go other places. And let me collect some berries. Oh, it's not fertile. Never mind. We don't want to harvest it right now. You can if you're in a pinch, but I am not in a pinch right now. I'm actually in a pretty solid... Oh, there's a rabbit. He's probably going to run for it, but you know what? Yeah, there we go. We got him trapped because he was in a good position. Let me carve him on up. Our axe is about to break because it wasn't that good of an axe. We can make a hammer if we want to repair our stuff, by the way. And I will more than likely do that at some point. Can I... Oh, he's attacking me. And we one-shotted him. He got took care of. It's nice to attack things that can't really fight back in the early game. It'll protect you from... Oh, he's got raw meat. And so I guess rat meat is tainted. It has a chance to actually hurt you whenever you eat it. But... You know what? Give me some stone before this breaks. Give me some stone. We're a little bit low with regards to how our stamina's not working so great for us right now. Let me make some string because that'll help me get rid of some of these materials. Strip that bark real fast. How many poles do I have? Make me a couple more poles out of these too. I like to have my poles all nice and arranged, and then we'll go ahead and we'll rearrange these very quickly. And there's actually a number of things that we can do with the stuff that we've picked up, but I'm not going to do it right now because we've got other stuff to take care of. Now with all of this, if we could get some further stone, which I'm just going to try and tear away with my hands right now because I really don't have any other options. It's going to hurt me, but we'll regenerate and we'll be alright. So we're basically scrabbling at stone right now, just trying to pull stuff out of the walls. But what I'm looking to make right now is a campfire. And we have enough stuff to do it right now, but I need more stone. Come on, you can do it, buddy. I believe in you. Oh, never mind. We're full up. Let me get back down to our other base camp, and that's going to take us a little while because we're way down. I'm going to make a campfire, though, which is actually going to increase our weight. Campfire crafted, however. Mission accomplished. Hooray, our fiery things have been created from nothingness. And then we're going to walk down this way. Come on, you can make it. I know you got a heavy load on board right now, but it's alright. I believe in you. I believe in you so hard. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the campfire over here. So there's our campfire. And then I'm going to make some cobblestone flooring here because I can afford to do it because we have so many cobbles. And the way that I'm going to do this is we're going to actually set this down around this so that we don't start forest fires or anything, because you can definitely start forest fires. Now that we've got our bow drill, we've got our campfire, I'm going to press the 4 key. He's going to attempt to start a fire, but he's not good at it yet, so he's going to fail. It's going to take him a couple attempts, it looks like. Oh, really? The tinder has been destroyed from use. That's disappointing. We got to make more tinder. Do I need more kindling or do I need more tinder? I think you need kindling and tinder to start a fire, right? To start a fire, you need kindling, tinder, and a fuel item. Okay. So let's make... Do I have kindling left? I failed so hard that I used up all my good stuff. Did you not make the tinder? You're disappointing me right now, buddy. You're disappointing me right now with your fail. Your sheer quantity of fail. What do I need to make more kindling, since apparently he screwed it all up? And how do you ruin kindling? Apparently he managed it. I don't know. But we need to make this fire before we can do anything else. It's important to our survival prospects. So let me find... We have kindling, so that means we need tinder. For tinder, we need something sharpened. I mean, I have that. That might work. Maybe. Nope, it's not going to work. Alright, well now we got to figure out where we're going to get more stone from. There we go, that worked. So let me get something. We got a sharp stone now, which means I should be able to shred some of this shit up and turn it into something more useful. There we go. So now we can get the tinder. Always try to keep 2 to 3 to 4 like tinder and kindling on you, seriously. There we go. We started a fire finally. Now what we want to do is we can make bark torches, we can make bone poles, we can make all kinds of good stuff, but I want to purify that water that's in the clay jug right now. And so there it is. The water has been purified. We're going to cook up some of that meat that we got from some of the random little critters around. Our cooking is kind of bad at the moment, so that meat is sort of suspect. I'm going to eat it anyways, but it's going to dry us out, unfortunately. But that's okay, because we have loads and loads and loads of water on this map. And so what we can do is we can just go up to this side, and we can take that water jug, gather it back on up because the fire is ready to go. And then we'll just do that. And it's all taken care of. Nothing to worry about. Other things that we can do is we can make pemmican. Pemmican is made out of the brain matter and like random offal, basically. Just the leftover stuff when you get done with an animal. You can make it out of roughage meat. And so essentially, if you have tainted meat or you have like brain material like guts or anything like that, if you have multiples of it, you can turn it into pemmican, which is kind of like this ground thing that's then being cooked and it purifies it. And I try to keep at least a bit of pemmican with me at any given time because it is a pretty good food in this game. It can keep you solidly squared away as time goes along. In the meantime, I think the next thing that I'd like to work on, we've got a leather hide, we've got some other little things in here, we got white mushrooms. I can eat the white mushrooms as I recall, but they dehydrate you if I remember correctly. Red mushrooms, on the other hand, you definitely do not want to eat. That's bad for business, so don't do it. We can start planting some of these berries over here. That'd be super fantastic, because I saw we got berry seeds out of there, so we'll plant those. And then over on this side, we'll plant the pineapple seeds. And these will grow over time, and they'll get better. We can also cook our oh shit, I stepped on the fire. I wish the game needs some of the things that Cataclysm DDA and some other roguelikes have, where if you accidentally like misclick on a fire and move on it, the game will be like, are you sure you want to do this? You're about to burn your character, because I misclick all the time. That was an accident. And so now our character has a burn. He is burning with desire for some sort of salve to fix that. Making wooden tongs would be smart. That's how you put stuff in the fire and then you take it back out. We can make some snares. They're not really super successful a lot of the time, so be aware. We need 2 strings, so let me make some more string real fast. And so now that we've got string, we can make a shovel, which is specifically for digging stone. And that essentially means that we will now never have a problem getting stone for the rest of the game. If you wanted to see the dungeon, let's dive down on in. But let me talk about Wayward and the things that I like about it while we finish on up this video. So Wayward was developed by a company called Unlock. And I think this game in early access, it's $7.99 right now, and I think you're getting a lot of bang for your buck with this one. If you wanted something a bit more like Don't Starve with a little more realism and a little less jokeriness, or something like a light version of Unreal World, because that's kind of where the game is at right now in early access, I think you could make a really, really good choice with this one. It'll soak up a whole lot of hours. I sat down one night with it, and I think I played for about 4.5 hours before I was like, man, I need to go to bed right now. I am definitely burning the midnight oil. It's a really, really enjoyable game. You can do everything from build bases, to look for treasure, to fight your way down through the bottom of the dungeons. There's bosses in the game right now. Albeit there's not like a ton of them in the game, but there is stuff to accomplish. And if you're the kind of person that really just likes to be self-motivated and do little projects in video games, this is a great game for that. It takes a long time to train yourself how to use a bow, for example. You just got to sit there and fire at trees for a little while until either your arrows break and your bow breaks, or you learn how to use the bow properly. You can throw objects if you want to, so you can get really, really good at throwing rocks at people, and it works pretty well as a weapon for some of the things that you're up against. You can get a sling, and you can start working on being like a slinger and stuff like that, and there's just so many different things to work on in this game that I have trouble seeing this game ever turning out anything less than exceptional. I mean, I'm really, really excited about seeing where this game goes in the future with its development. Everything from the graphical fidelity is better than what I would expect for most roguelikes. The control is on point. Everything works pretty much how you figure it would. Like, when you start fiddling with stuff, you figure it out very, very rapidly. It's already got an in-game tutorial that walks you through a fat chunk of the gameplay and lets you know exactly how to play if you don't like to fiddle with things. I'm a fiddler, personally. I like to get in there and just mess with stuff and die a lot, and that's how I like to learn. But some people like tutorials. They have one for you. And I guess my point here is that you could do a lot worse, because this game is the complete package where it's sitting right now. This is a great little roguelike survival game. And so I will see you all later. This is Weekly Indie Newcomer. If you wanted to get the game, it's called Wayward. You can find it down below in the description. Make sure you check it on out. Support the developers. I will see you all later in future episodes of Weekly Indie Newcomer, the weekend series where I play an indie game that's been bouncing around my brain over the course of the last week. My name is Splattercat, and I am the King of Indie. I will see you all later. Hi-do, everybody.